Hello, my name is Chris Fritter from Sonny's the Car Wash Factory. Today I want to talk to you about the PPE gear you're going to need for your upcoming project. Number one, we're going to need a hard hat to protect our head. Number two, we're going to need our safety glasses. Number three, we're going to need some kind of high visibility wear that we're going to use on the job. I also have hearing protection that can go over the ears, or hearing protection that can be inserted as an earplug. I have protective gloves, and then I also have steel-toed boots that are skid-resistant soles. Also, please make sure to go ahead and check your manual for the exact PPE gear you're going to need for your upcoming project. We're going to go over a list of the tools that we're going to use for our project here. The first thing we have is our hammer drill with 5/8 drill bit for securing our pump to the floor. We have our hammer to install our cement anchors to secure the pump. And we have our impact driver where we're actually going to use a 9/16 bit. We have a socket wrench with a 9/16 bit for our groove clamp. We have a pipe wrench for hard plumbing. We have an adjustable wrench. For sealing our pipes, we have a few different pieces. We have PTFE tape, thread sealant. If we were using PVC connections, we would have primer, glue. For our electrical connections, we're going to need to remove the cover. We're going to use a T25 Torx bit to remove and install the cover, hand tight only. We're going to use our electrical strippers and crimpers to crimp on the spade terminal. We have a side cutters to remove the plugs on the side of the pump, a Phillips screwdriver to install our 3-phase wiring, and last we have our standard screwdriver for installing the ground lug and spade terminal connecting to the pump. And that should be everything we need to complete this project. I wanted to quick go over what you guys are going to be getting in the crate for your install of the new booster pump. You'll be getting a crate. For example, this one will be our larger of the two pumps. It will come pre-assembled with an inlet, outlet, everything that you see here. You'll be getting a bladder tank with a T and a ball valve. And in our box labeled pump installation kit, we're going to get a few items. The first will be an operations manual for operating our Grundfos pump. With that operations manual for our Grundfos pump, we're going to get 3 appropriately sized cord grips and O-rings for installing our 3-phase wiring. We have a groove clamp with a gasket on the inside. We're going to get 4 cement anchors for securing our pump to the ground. We're going to get a wiring terminal for securing our ground to the pump case. We have a bracket to help hold our bladder tank. And we have a clear poly tubing that we're going to use on our self-priming valve. That should be everything that comes in our pump installation box. Today we'll be setting up one of our larger Grundfos pump. So, first thing I want to identify is which way is my water coming in. In the very front of the pump, there's a nice arrow stamped right onto the cast iron foot right there. That arrow is currently pointing in that direction. So my water inlet is actually on this side right here. I'm going to remove that cap that's inside there, and then I'm going to remove the outlet cap as well. So when I remove that outlet cap, I actually want to take and put the gasket on this. We're going to put a groove clamp and our bladder tank on there, but I'm going to prep it and set up here and put my gasket on early. My good friend Nick handed it to me. Very simple. I just want to get that gasket placed in, so when I put that bladder tank on, I can just slide the gasket over the top of it. So now that that's all ready, I want to go ahead and I want to secure my pump to the ground. I want to make sure there's enough room around the pump that we can hard pipe it in. So to do that, I have a 5/8 drill bit, concrete bit, and I have some concrete anchors here. So I would want to take and I'd want to mark my holes right there. And before I have my pump secure, you could go ahead and drill directly through those into the concrete. Take your cement anchor, tap that down into the hole until it's seated as far as it can go. And then you'd use your impact driver with a 9/16 socket on it. And we would go ahead and secure that pump right to the ground once we have it in place. Once that's done and we got it secure, we'll be ready to move to the next phase and get our bladder tank installed and move on. Okay, now that we've completed that, we're going to go ahead and get our bladder tank mounted here. So first steps we're going to have to do is we'll have to remove our caps from the bladder tank. And we've already installed our rubber gasket here. Now we need to go ahead and get that groove clamp. Our bracket here, thankfully, has been cut nice enough that it almost snaps into place right on this to keep this from rotating. So we'll set that on the ground. It's going to help us keep perfectly level as well. Prep that there, and then those nuts are 9/16, so we're going to use a 9/16 socket wrench and have that ready for us. Nick's going to go ahead and get that lined up, and you can see it keeps it pretty close to level there. And we'll slide over my rubber gasket. And once my rubber gasket's slid over, I kind of have an equal distance in between the two grooves where the groove clamp's going to slide into. Go ahead and pop that into place. Pop the front one into place. Make sure it's centered, and then I want to evenly tighten these until the mating surfaces there touch on each side. So I'm just rotating back and forth so they're tight and nice and easy until I see the mating surfaces become flush on each side. And the top one just became flush. And the bottom one's still got a little room to go. All right, so now my mating surface there and my mating surface there are completely flush. My nuts are tight, so now I know that my bladder tank is secure. If we wanted to check to make sure that we had the right PSI in there, we'd want to have about 38 to 40 PSI in there, and we could just use a regular tire gauge to go ahead and check that. We just want to verify that. And once we've done that, our setup is complete, and we're going to have to go ahead and start to move on to our plumbing. All right, now that we have our pump all set up and secured, we're going to have to go ahead and plumb it in. We know that our inlet's on this side and our outlet's on that side. We're going to hard plumb it in because we don't have the availability to use rubber hose at this time. If our rubber hose were to collapse, it would actually starve the pump for water. So we're going to use thread sealant and PTFE tape to ensure that we don't have any leaks as we're threading in our hard plumbed connections. After we do that, we're going to have to hook up a vent for our self-priming valve here on the side. That self-priming valve, we have the supplied poly tube with it. We're just going to install that into the push connect at top, and then we're going to take the other end and run that to a drain in our back room. That'll be headed out to the drain, and then we want to make sure that the pump itself can drain. So taking and using the side cutters, remove the plug from the side of the pump to allow water to flow out on both sides. And now in the event that we had a leak from above, water would come in and have a place to escape in the bottom so it wouldn't instantly ruin our pump. Once we've done all that, we've had our pump plumbed in, we're ready for our next steps. Now that we've got it plumbed up, we're going to go ahead and we're going to hook up our electrical to this. I have a T25 here. We're going to be using hand tools to loosen this and tighten it back up. There we go. For installing our three-phase wiring, we want to remove the bottom plug here, which is chrome in color or silver. And we want to install our properly sized cord grip here. So we're going to go ahead and take the one side of the cord grip off, slide that over our wiring. And then we want to make sure that we have that rubber gasket still available on the cord grip. And we're going to screw that into the very bottom hole where we just pulled out our plug. We're then going to take our three-phase wiring that we have here, and we're going to insert it through the cord grip that we just put in. Push it through, make sure it comes out the other side, and we have plenty of space, and we'll tighten down our cord grip. With our three-phase wire pulled through, we've got our black, white, and red, which will be our legs of power, and then we have green, which is going to be our ground. We're going to put a spade terminal on that ground and crimp it here. Make sure I have a nice secure connection. And then one nice feature is this plug actually pulls out, making it a little easier to hook up our legs of power here. Thank you. So Nick handed me a Phillips screwdriver that I can use to install my wiring here. The great thing about this Grundfos pump is if we misinstall or mix up our legs of power, it's got an auto-correcting motor, so it will actually correct itself to only rotate in the correct direction. So I've gone ahead and I've installed L1, L2, and L3 into my connector, making sure that they're all secure and snug. Then I can actually pull that wire back through the cord grip a little bit, and then all I have to do is plug the whole connector in there. Now I have my spade terminal that I got to hook to ground. So I'm going to loosen my case bolt here. It's again, just using hand tools only. And then I'll go ahead and attach my ground. Tighten that down. And now I have my ground installed to the case. I have my 3 wires installed to there. And I'll go ahead and reinstall the cover there. And once again, it's a T25 Torx bit. And I just want to hand tighten these, right? We don't want to put an impact on these. We don't want to break a screw, damage a case, anything of that nature. So we'll get all 4 of these tightened down. And now that we have 3-phase power to it, we'll be ready to start our pump. This is our Grundfos pump, fully assembled and ready to go. Okay, we're here in our lab. I want to make sure that we know how to turn on the pump. So once we have power applied to it, you're going to see it in stop mode. All I have to do is hit the power sign once, and you'll see the green will start to move. It will go to normal mode, and it's going to start to build pressure. So usually takes about 2 minutes, and once it notices that it no longer needs to build any pressure, it will go into sleep mode, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Okay, so now after about 2 minutes, you heard that the pump stopped running, and you'll notice the green arrow now just stays still. Shows that it's still in normal mode, PSI is holding, but the green dot is no longer circulating around. So now we're all ready to go ahead and open up our ball valve. Before we open up our ball valve, we want to make sure that we're checking for any leaks from any of our connection points and verifying that we have no leaks. And now the second we went ahead and opened up our ball valve, the pump ramped up and started to run again, and the green circle's circling. If we were to have any problems or questions, we can consult the manual that came in our install kit, the operations manual for the Grundfos pump. With the Grundfos pump, every 6 months, we're going to want to go ahead and check the pressure in our bladder tank. That's 38 PSI, and we're going to want to consult our manual for the proper procedure to check that. The other thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make sure we don't have any debris or any buildup or kinks or anything not allowing this line from our priming valve to not drain properly. Last but not least, we just want to do a visual inspection. We want to look and make sure we don't have any visual leaks that would be causing us a problem that would need to be replaced or repaired in the future. Thank you very much for watching the install video of our Grundfos pump. If you have any concerns, please contact our tech support at sonnysdirect.com, or on sonnysdirect.com you can also find the direct number to get a hold of tech support for any questions or concerns you may have. Thank you again.